Hello everyone, and welcome to this Empowering Women's event. I'm so excited to be sharing the next 60 minutes with you. I just cannot wait because this material is something that can change your life like night and day. So it's all about creating the mindset that you need to win in sales and to achieve the sales that you want. So I'm just going to get Catherine on. She's my right-hand woman. I've got people from all over the world. She's in Canada. This is what's magical about this material. When you apply it in your life, you can create results that you want, and it doesn't matter where you are. You can work with amazing women around the world. So I'll take it over to Catherine.
Hi there. Welcome, everybody. It's so great that you're taking time out of your day to join us. And this next hour, like Natalia said, is just going to be amazing. And as we were planning for tonight, normally at this point, I introduce Natalia by telling you a bit about her story. But she asked me last night to actually share a little bit about my story. So I thought in a way to introduce this material, I would just quickly share a bit about where this material found me when I first found it. So I actually started coaching with this material, and I had $700 in the bank and a career that was absolutely falling apart. But more than what was going on the outside, really where I was at on the inside was I had just a horrible self-image, and I just really didn't believe that I was worthy of having even enough, let alone success or abundance or prosperity. So very quickly, once I started to incorporate a lot of what we'll be learning tonight into my life, just results started coming my way. Like the difference was night and day. And now, a year later, I have been able to get a new car, get a new place to live, have this phenomenal role working with Natalia and helping women all over the world, as well as my own business, doing vibrational nutrition. But really more important than all of the outside stuff is where I'm at inside. I love the woman I am, and I can say that honestly for the first time in my life. I completely love me and see the confidence that I've learned through this material just express itself in every aspect of my life. So wherever you're at today, I always think that we have room for improvement and growing and learning to fall in love with ourselves a little bit more. So thank you for being here, and I'll turn it back over to you, Natalia.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm so grateful for this material because it's not just changed my life personally, but like you've just seen, Catherine's life is night and day to where it was. And your life can be too. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. You might be doing well and you really just want to take things to that next level, or you might be feeling really stuck, right? But this is our purpose. This is our mission. This is not a motivational seminar, webinar. This is, as much as it feeds my ego sometimes, and it's nice to have, oh, thanks, Nat, you've inspired me. It's not about that. This is really all about you and your results. That's all that matters, results, okay? Now, I have had some messages just from some people saying that they're having trouble jumping on, Catherine. So I don't know if you can get back on that. I know that you do magic, and you'll help them jump on in no time. So, alrighty. Now, let's get straight into this because this is so valuable. This is worth its weight in gold. Now, like I mentioned, today is all about a quantum leap. I'm talking about multiplying your sales, not incremental steps. The people that are using this material that we're working with from around the world have been multiplying their sales 300%, 400%, by 800% within months. Okay, so this isn't nitty gritty, like step by step, logical results we're talking about. We are talking about quantum leaps, okay? That's like turning your annual income into a monthly income. Now, doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in the profession of sales, you should be really excited because you're not capped with your income. It's really all up to you now. There is no cap. There never was a cap, but when you're in the sales game, you are free to create the life that you really want. So let's talk about those results, okay? Now, there are key principles to achieving the success you want, to achieving the sales results that you want, okay? Now, these key principles, it's not guesswork. There's a system. In fact, selling is really, it's a mind game. Now, there are a few components when it comes to any sales, you know. Just the number one thing you've got to remember is that when you sell something, first and foremost, you have to sell yourself. Okay, you cannot sell something to help someone if you first haven't sold yourself. So you see, when you work on you, you are in control of everything in your life. Now, I want you to look at your results right now objectively. I want you to look at what it is you're achieving in your business and where you're at, and know that they are just a reflection of what's going on inside. So if we want to change what's going on in your life, your income, the profits, the bottom line, everything, we have to change the control center of everything. And that is what I'm going to go over with you today. Now, if you were to go to anyone, whether you're in a company, you may be in direct selling, or you have your own business. But if you go to anyone that's at the top of their industry and ask them, they're doing phenomenal in sales. You go to the top salesperson and you ask them, what are you doing differently to the person at the bottom? And they won't be able to tell you why. You ask the CEO, you ask the founder, the director, and they're going to give you all these answers. Oh, it's their experience. You know, they're just really confident. So they can't even articulate why they're doing so well. That's what you call an unconscious competent. They're unconsciously doing well. So you see, when you understand and you become consciously aware, you become a conscious competent, and you can articulate what you're doing. And you know what else you can do? You can course correct. So the minute you're off track, bang, you know what you've got to do. So you see, the key is to become a conscious competent when it comes to sales. Okay. Now, there are 3 key things that you have to remember when it comes to selling. Like I mentioned, you first have to sell yourself. You have to love what you're doing, okay? Now, it may just be, it doesn't matter what it is, but you have to sell you. Now, I love this material. I sell this material to people all over the world. I work with women in business, and I love it because I know with every fiber of my being what it does and how it changes people's lives. So you see, you've got to have that at a core level. Now, the second thing is you have to, and I'm going to touch on this a little later, you have to work on your attitude, okay? There is an attitude to selling. There is an attitude to failure. There's an attitude to success. There's an attitude to losing, okay? Now, we have to acquire that right attitude, okay? Now, the third thing, and it's the most important thing, is understanding the mind, okay? You see, selling is just a mind game. So let's understand that a little bit more. Okay. Now, look, the wonderful thing when it comes to being in your position is that you can literally create your own economy. You can. And if this concept might seem a little far-fetched now, I want you to understand that in the worst economy, there have been people winning Doesn't matter what's going on in the world right now. You can multiply your sales just like that. Okay? I've had an amazing woman I'm working with, and she has multiplied her sales. The last time I spoke to her was about 350% within a few months. I'm talking about in less than 5 months. Okay? Well and truly, it was probably even 4. Now, you can create your own economy. And you know what's wonderful? When you realize and work on the one thing in control of your sales, you have your ticket to freedom. You are the only problem and the only solution you're ever going to have when it comes to achieving these results that you want. And that's a good thing, okay? So I want you to type in the chat box, which ladies here are really ready? They're serious about multiplying their income. You're serious about multiplying your sales. Type it in the chat box because I want to know how committed you are to doing this. All right, good. I'm seeing them all. Fantastic. You have to be. You have to be committed to doing it. You see, you have to understand that you're selling anyway. You're selling an idea when you're talking to your partner. You're selling your children on the idea vegetables are healthy. You see, selling is a part of life. I was talking to Catherine yesterday, was it the day before, and we said selling is just giving. That's actually what it is. It's giving. It's doing something to improve the quality of life for someone. You see? And you've got to fall in love with that. And when you do, and you're ready to multiply your sales, there is nothing that will stop you. Okay, now, I think Louise is on. Louise, I think I just saw you. Louise is doing amazing. She's multiplied her sales. She's picking up, I don't know if she's picked it up yet, her Mercedes. So she's rocking and rolling. Well done, Louise. Now look, there are 2 things you've got to know to increase your sales right now. There are 2. You have to know where you're at. Just look at your results and be honest with yourself. Don't beat yourself up, but be honest. You have to know where you're going. You got to know where you're shooting for. You got to have that goal. Okay? So where you are and where you want to go. Now, it seems really simple and obvious, but I know a lot of people that don't know exactly what they want. You've got to know that. But that's not the only thing. You see, you can have a goal, you can know where you're at, but still stay stuck. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're still staying there. Because you see, trying harder isn't the answer. You can try really hard and you can go to meetings after meetings, training after training, and still have the same result. Why? Now I'm going to share something with you and I want you to pay very close attention. And I want you to put yourself in that position and really think of where you're at right now in your life. This is a true story. Price Pritchett says, "I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees about an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energies in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The whining wings tell the poignant story of the fly's strategy. Try harder, but it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination." This fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is wide open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of this self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there, and it would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may offer no real promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever before, you may kill your chances for success. When I first heard that, I realized something. I realized how much my life resembled a fly. Okay? Now, you can try really hard, and there is honor in being a very hard worker. And I pride myself in that too, like being disciplined and working hard. I come from a background of a family that's just worked really hard, physically laborious. So that was ingrained. But it didn't mean that it was easy. It didn't mean that money was growing, bank accounts, that life was how we wanted it to be. You see, trying harder can actually suffocate the success in your life. Now, I'm not saying that you don't put in effort. That is absolutely not what I'm saying here. You have to put in the effort. But there are people that are earning what you're earning in a year, earning in a week, and they're putting in the same amount of hours. So it's not the time that has to go in. If you want to multiply your sales, you don't have to go and find another 7 days in the week. See, that's a programmed way of thinking. What we have to do is change what's in between, where you are and where you're going. And when you do that, you can earn more money working on a Monday morning than you can in the whole week. Why? Because you've changed the cause of the problem. So what is it? Why are so many people stuck? This is why, okay? Because in here, you've got something called paradigms. You see, your paradigms are your conditioned way of thinking. Now, this is a very important subject because you see, there are so many people out there that are trying hard, that don't understand this concept, but they are going to try hard till the day they die because that's all they know. Now, if you want to stop trading that time and allowing the good to come to you and converting the effort you're putting in so it yields the results that you want, you must understand this. Knowing is not enough. Now, if you've heard of paradigms before, or you've even read about it before, and you don't have the results that you want, then you don't understand it properly yet. You see, this is an ongoing process. You must work on this daily. Now, it's not hard work because you're helping you. You're working on you and you're investing in changing you, the one person that is responsible for all of your results. So let's look at this subject deeper. And if you have any questions, I'll ask Kat and she can, and I'm happy to help you, okay? Because you see, when you understand this, just like that, bang, 300% increase in your sales. Bang, 800% increase. That was a company. 800% in 12 weeks. What would that do to a team? Pretty amazing, okay? To the average person, it's illogical. It doesn't matter. They're thinking logical. Of course it's illogical. We're not talking about logic here, right? Nothing ever amazing happened from logic. So look at this. Paradigms. It's a mental program that has almost exclusive control over all of our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habit. I want you to think of this. Right, pay close attention. Did you know that there have been very proven studies, okay, that only 2 to 4% of everyday thinking is actually conscious, which means that about 96 to 98% of how you're operating every day is habitual. Every day. So if that's operating automatically, then who's actually really controlling your results? I'm going to tell you who is, because it's not you. Now, what are paradigms? You know, they are a multitude of all the habits that you have, or the beliefs, the ideas that you've accepted, you've adopted. And you know what? They're other people's habits. So you haven't chosen the results you want. You haven't chosen the beliefs that you have. You see, they're passed on from one generation to the next, just going on and on and on. And you see, operating from the premise that we're in control of everything. But if only 2 to 4% of everyday thinking is actually consciously directed, then the rest of the time you're operating with ideas and beliefs that you've inherited from a long time ago. So you see, you don't have to try any harder than what you're doing. You can apply the exact same effort right now that you're putting into your business and change your paradigm, and that will change everything for you. Now look at this. And I want you to really think of yourself right now. We have all been conditioned. You've been conditioned to look at your past results and let those control your thinking. What your sales were last week, what your sales were last month, what they were at the start of the year, how you went yesterday, everything. And so what happens is this programmed way of thinking keeps us here. As long as you live this way, you will keep getting the same results. Because you're looking at everything and living from that place. So you're letting your results affect your thinking, not your thinking control your sales. Now, I hope that makes sense at this point, and I want you to really think about this right now and think about where you're at, your results. Have you actually been in control of your thinking, or have you been the plaything that's been letting the outside control you? Because I'm going to tell you one thing, until you change that, until you turn the table over and you're in control of your thinking, you will be a puppet to the sales that you have. But you know what? When you make that decision and you change your paradigms and you operate with a new set of beliefs, a new set of ideas, you create the person you want, the woman you want, that has the sales, the income, the freedom. You're in control of your life. And that is true freedom, because you're liberated. Now, I'm not sure if you would, I hope you'd agree with me, or you probably wouldn't be on this call. You are not earning what you're earning because that's what you want to be earning. You are earning that because that's what you've been conditioned to earn. Now, the paradigm is very insidious. It wants to keep you where you are, no matter what. So it will keep you earning the same thing. And until you change the paradigm, the income won't go up. And if it does go up without changing the paradigm, it will come straight back down. And at the end of the year, you're going to look back at a pattern and go, yes, I see. You see, we've got to change the paradigm at the cause of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Because if it's so important, then why isn't this taught at school? You see, Catherine's been changing her paradigms and her income's just gone up just like that. There are people coming to her. She's operating with a new level of beliefs. Okay. Louise, you're on this call. Your thinking has changed from when I first met you. You see, when you start to think from a place where you have those sales that you want, then you're there, and this is the key. You stay there. You operate from there. Everything will come to your beck and call. So you see, you're going to understand that all you need to do is work on your mind, and your sales will improve. Now look, it really is a mind game. You can go to all the trainings that you want, and you need them because you've got to get good at what you're selling, and that's training to specialize your knowledge. But until you change your mind, that is just knowledge that is not applied. You see, there's a very big difference between what you know and what you're actually applying. And when you can close this gap, because you already know how to do so much better, you don't actually have to go and learn anything new. You see, everything changes. And I can imagine right now you can already think of some things that you know that you should be doing that you're not doing. And the reason why you're not doing it is because the paradigm is in the way. And so we must change the paradigm at the cause level. So let's look at that. Now, the mind and paradigms, if you get anything out of today, anything, I want you to burn this into your mind, this image. Okay? Now look, when you were born and you were brought in this world, some of you may be mothers, you know, this is how your child was born. The subconscious mind, let that big circle represent the mind, and you can see the body. You see the body is just an instrument of the mind. Your mind was wide open. You're a sponge. Whatever was going on around you, you inherited. Okay? You've got inherited beliefs. You've got environmental beliefs that were going on around you. Your parents' beliefs were passed down genetically, okay, from your mom and your dad. And also what was going on around the time. So if they're in sales, okay, and they're business people and they're doing amazing, right? They're growing the company, multimillionaires, then you are going to have these beliefs. You see, you've inherited them. You're operating from that. You don't know anything else. You see, that's a thermostat. Now, on the flip side, if you're brought up in a family struggling, well, you've inherited a lot of beliefs too. And even beliefs when it comes to your own business. So all of this gets downloaded. And then when we get a little older, at about 2 or so, we develop the conscious mind. But one thing that you must remember is that part of your paradigm, part of all the habits that you have, you've also got a self-image. Now, self-image is vitally important because your self-image is like a lid. And you see, right now, your self-image is set. It's like a thermostat. It's not the image that's being reflected in the mirror, okay? This is a deep-seated image in your mind of who you are, what you are, and what you believe you're worth. That's who you are, what you are, and what you believe you're worth. And you see, that is deep, and it's so ingrained that consciously someone else can say you're doing a great job, or consciously you can have all of these ideas, but your self-image is set. It's like a governor on the hood of a car, and the car can go so fast. There's 1,000 horsepower under the hood, but it's set at 40, and it doesn't matter how hard you push on the accelerator. It's there. Now, when you can change the self-image, just like that, you can go. But the thing with self-image, I want you to burn in the deep part of your mind right now, and never forget this, is that you can never outperform your self-image. But the wonderful thing is that you can change it. You see, there's a way to change the image you have of you. You can create a woman that's generating your annual income, whatever it is right now, if it's $50,000 a year, in a month. Okay? You want to turn your annual income into a monthly income? You can. You just have to program that as part of your mind. You see, when you can do that, that's the only way you see yourself. And that's when your results are permanent. So you see, selling, the art of selling, has everything to do with your self-image, the image you have of you. And you see, you're operating with a self-image right now. And consciously, you can think all these thoughts. But you know, your self-image and your paradigms are in your subconscious mind. And that controls the behavior that you have, your body, and your results. So let's look at this. School gave you all this knowledge. You have so much knowledge. I mean, it comes from everywhere. You just have to YouTube things. You hear watching videos. There's so much going in, especially in the self-help world, because you're hearing it all. And you really, frequently, you don't do what you already know. You know you can do so much better. Okay? You can feel that. I want to ask you a question right now. Do you feel your worth? Do you believe you're worth so much more than what you're earning right now? I want you to type in yes. Do you believe right now that do you believe you're worth more than what you're earning? Because if you don't, then that has to change, because that's the number one thing. You don't even believe that. And if you do believe it consciously, you've got to change it subconsciously too. Okay? Now look, you've got all this knowledge. Even where you're at right now, you may be flying. You still have a lot of knowledge. Inferior results. Okay? The results may not be what you want them to be. And it can cause a lot of confusion and frustration, but it doesn't need to. Okay? See, we just have to take what you already know and apply it. See, look at this stick person right now. That's you. Your paradigm is what's controlling everything. So even what I'm saying, you can reject it, you can accept it. It's not going to change your sales tomorrow, because you still got this habitual way of being. And that's what happens when you go to motivational seminars. They're wonderful and they feel good. But a week later, 2 weeks later, you're not around that environment anymore and your paradigm's kicked in. So your sales, how you speak with people, how you book your meetings, how you operate in your business is all conducive with where your paradigm's at. Now, if your sales are constantly increasing, okay, your paradigm is improving, okay? That's great. If it's not, then that means nothing's changing, okay? So we have to really go there. We got to create a new paradigm. You see, this is so liberating because you don't have to go and struggle. You don't have to go anywhere else. You actually have to go to you. Now, this is really important because when you're in the sales profession, not only do you have your own paradigms, but you're selling someone that has their own paradigms too. So look at this. We communicate through words, gestures, and writing. When you're speaking, language, body language, and writing. But we also communicate energetically, subconsciously, it's emotionally. And our actions, okay, the body. So think of you when you're having a meeting with a prospect, okay, and how you're communicating. Now, what happens is that you can communicate consciously and you can say, yeah, I want to help you. And they think, yeah, I really need help. I want your help. Oh, I would love your products. Oh, wow, they sound amazing. And you say, yeah, my products are amazing. I want to help you. But subconsciously you're feeling, oh my gosh, I really got to pay for that bill. Oh God, I need this sale. They're going to feel what you feel, not what you say or what you talk about. You see, there's a language. It's emotional. And if you want to make the sale, you need to understand how to control your emotions. You see, they're going to pick that up, and it doesn't matter what you say or do, the sale won't happen. It's a subconscious thing. So there are some key principles right now when it comes to achieving the results you want. Okay. Now, I want to go over them with you, but at this point in time, have you got any questions about the process of selling and how you can change the result? Okay, so just think of the sales that you've had in the last month, okay, and the sales that you want to achieve next month. And I want you to really reflect now. Can you see how you can change that? Okay. Yeah, great. Awesome. All right, now let's look at these. These are just some of these principles, okay? I've picked the 12 because these are the ones that we're helping applying into businesses all over the world. Men and women. I deal with women, but my partner and husband deals with men and women all over the world. And these are core principles. Number one, you got to set and achieve a worthy goal. There's a difference between setting a goal and achieving a goal. You see, achieving a goal is a scientific exercise. There's a process to goal achieving. Anyone can set a goal, but it doesn't mean they're going to achieve it. You've got to know the difference, and you've got to understand the process of goal achievement. You also have to make sure that you've set the right goal. The goal is so important because if you're going to be challenged, and when you're in sales, yeah, you got to get used to certain challenges, of course. You're not in a 9-to-5 job anymore. This is on you. And you must set a goal that's worthy enough of you getting out of bed in the morning, worthy enough to keep going. It's vitally important. Number 2, I've highlighted this green because this one idea alone, one principle that you work on will change something so fast, especially when you've been in your business and you already understand it. Your knowing doing gap. This is the fastest way to increase profit because you already know how to do so much better. You know what you've got to do, but you haven't been doing it. So we've got to close the gap between where you're at and where you want to go, okay? And the sales will just go through the roof. I love this lesson. This lesson has changed a director of a company or a partner of the company, and his sales, his profits in his own bank account have gone up 400% within the 6 months. So this is what we're talking about, knowing, doing. You see, knowing just isn't enough when it comes to business. You must change your paradigm. I mean, that is just a given. You keep doing what you're doing, expecting different results. That's literally insanity, okay? You must change the cause of your results. It's these beliefs you're operating from, how you're communicating, how you're thinking, everything. But it's not changing the behavior. It's the cause of all of your behavior. You've got to unlock your potential. You have to release it. How do you do that? By understanding you and who you are. You are so powerful. No one can measure what you're capable of achieving in your personal life, in your professional life. But you've got to unlock that. Knowing that you're powerful is one thing. Unlocking this power is another thing. And you are powerful beyond measure. And I think women make the best business owners in the whole world because there's just this innate ability to lead, to nurture. Now, there's a downfall, and there can be. It's about creating the self-image of a confident, powerful, strong woman that's excellent when it comes to their field. Okay, it's all leadership. Number 5, live with the end goal in mind. You cannot let what's going on outside of you right now stop you. You cannot let the conditions that you have, you cannot let your bank account, last week's sales, the month before, you know what, even if it was your best month. Because if you let that affect you and your goal is higher, then that will sabotage you. You must change this, and this is like a 180. It's a big shift that has to happen because we've been brought up, conditioned to live through our senses. What we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But we have other faculties. We've got 6 higher faculties that we need to exercise. And when you can do that and use them for you, because you've already got them, you've got to use them for you. Now, imagination, will, perception, reason, intuition, memory. Okay, they're your higher faculties. You've already got them. You've had them since you were born. How you've been using them in your life have been giving you the results you've got right now. So you've got to understand and exercise them. You've got to learn this. You've got to unlearn what you've learned and relearn. Okay, and it's just how you're going to keep advancing. Number 6, this is so important. You must change your self-image. You have an image of someone that's earning whatever you're earning. I don't know what it is. It could be 50,000 in a month. It could be 5,000. It could be 100. I don't know. Whatever it is you're earning, that's the self-image you have. You have an image, deep-seated one, and you cannot outperform this, but you can change it. Okay? So you don't try and change the current image. You have to create a new one. Number 7, you must eliminate fear and procrastination. They're the 2 common causes of failure. Now, the key is in understanding it. When you can understand how it's been trying to stop you, then bang, when you're faced with it, you know what's going on. You go straight through that and you are free. There is nothing that's going to stop you. Number 8, integrate the new belief. We've got to create a new belief system for you, one that's conducive to the goals that you want. And that's going to change your behavior. So you're going to be thinking differently. You're going to be acting differently. You're going to be a different person. You see, if you're already thinking those thoughts like a person that's achieved that goal, you would already have that. The reason why you don't have it is just because you haven't become that person yet. You see, the goal is designed to help you grow. Yes, you're going to have that income. You're going to provide a better life for you and those around you, those that you care about, but you are going to grow as a person. And you can grow faster, more in 6 months than you have in your whole life. Okay? Because you see, the goal is designed to help you unlock and grow into a better version of you, a stronger version of you. But we have to integrate this new belief system with your behavior. You must acquire the right attitude of success. Now, this is such a subject that I personally believe is quite misunderstood, because you can be really positive. You can have a positive attitude and people think, wow, you are like the most positive person I know. But you have thoughts of lack, of limitation, of why you can't, why it's harder for you, all of these things, and that's operating from a negative mental attitude. So you can be positive, but still operate from a negative mental attitude. And we have to change that. You must understand and operate how to be from a positive mental attitude regardless of what's going on. It doesn't matter what happened last week, what happened last night, the last 5 minutes, last year. You must operate from this place, the positive mental attitude, and that is a common denominator of any successful person. You need to lead. How do you lead a team? How do you lead a group? How do you lead a family? You first lead yourself. Leadership is within. You see, there's a difference between being a good leader and an exceptional leader. An exceptional leader rises to the top because they have people following them because they want to, not because they feel they have to. You see, and you can only ever lead yourself. You see, when you learn to unlock all of this, when you really follow these principles, you're leading yourself, and your income increases as a reflection of your leadership. The golden rule. I remember Bob Proctor said to me, he said, if you can nail this, you will never have to worry about money ever again. And it's leaving everyone with the impression of increase. Everyone, all the time. And mastermind. You've got to mastermind. You can't do it alone. And you see, there are principles on how to mastermind the right way. So you see, what I've shared with you, that's a system. There is a system. And this is what we're seeing over and over again. This has been used by Fortune 500 companies, IBM, American Express, Malaysia Airlines. So big companies, businesses in so many countries around the world. Now, this is a guaranteed system. It's been time tested for over 50 years. So it's not a matter of if it works. This works. It's a matter of, are you willing to apply the principles? Okay, will you do what you need to do to achieve the results that you want? And you see, people will look at you and go, wow, that just happened just like that. And you go, well, yeah, it did. But what you did was you redirected this mental energy that you were already putting out by following a system that directed your thoughts. And just like that, your behavior changes and your results change. We can't solve our problems with the same thinking. Okay? not the same thinking that we used when we first created the problem. You must change the thinking. But to create a new model, a new way of being, a new self-image, a new woman. And you know what's magical about self-image? You can create anything that you want, anything in your life. So you just got to make a decision. Make a decision that you are going to multiply your sales. You are not settling. You are not the fly anymore. You're going to break through. You're going to realize there's a door wide open and you're going to fly straight through there. You see, the winners in life make decisions quickly and change them rarely, if at all. People that lose in life, and Napoleon Hill says it in Think and Grow Rich, they go back and forth, and that is indecision. And he says indecision is the death of man, keeps people where they are. So you got to break free. You got to make that fly. You got to break free. You got to make a decision. You got to make this work. Alrighty. So this is so important. I love when I first heard this. My goodness. I thought, yes. Don't lower your standard of living down to meet your income. Take your income up to meet your standard of living. There's nothing fun about settling. There really isn't. So raise it. Raise your income. And just like that, everything in your life will change. So this is what I'm going to share with you, this time-tested and proven system. If you want to know more about it, then you can, I can help you. Kat's just putting in a link for your time to book in. So if you want, pick a time session that works for you and we'll see if it's a good fit for you, okay? Because it has to work for both of us. But I want you to book in a time, create the time. Don't see if, so I've got an appointment that day. Well, your results aren't going to wait for no one. Make the time to change your paradigm because this system is a paradigm buster. So I really want to thank you for joining me today. I want to also really leave you thinking how you can make the next 6 months of your life the most abundant 6 months. So take a chance on you because I'm telling you one thing, there is nothing more powerful than being a woman that understands who she really is. All right, ladies, any questions, Catherine? I'll take it over to you.
Oh, wow, what a great hour. That was just amazing. So if any of you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat box right now. As of right now, we don't have anything in there. So I'll just give everybody maybe 30 seconds to write down their question.
They can always send them through as an email. But look, if there's no questions, then obviously I've done a well enough job to go through it with everyone. Look.
Yes, you've given us a ton to think about and a ton to just jump into.
Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, you just have to really think you're here to do something great. You really are. And when you can get out of your own way, everything's just in front of you to take, to have, to be, to share, to give. And it's no fun when you're holding yourself back. So take a chance on you. Take a chance on you. So fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining me. I am honoured and grateful, and we have such amazing people that work with us. So I'm really grateful for that. And I look forward to sharing with you the next call that we're going to do. And it's going to be virtually all on self-image. So it's going to be really wonderful. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Take care, Louise. I will speak to you soon and hear more of your wins. I can see you still on. All right, ladies. Have a good one.
Fantastic. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Kat.
Bye-bye.